What is going on, Sexy Beast? Bald Christmas Cookie here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 worst weapons to have in Black Ops 4 Zombies, so let's go ahead and get the shit started. So this is my professional, licensed opinion from Professor Rabbit, and this is not like a definite top 5 list. You might have a completely different list, and that's totally fine. Everybody plays zombies differently, but based off of how I play, these are the worst guns to have for me. So saying that, let us go ahead and jump into number 5. Taking the number 5 spot is going to be the GKS. In my opinion, and again, licensed professional opinion, the GKS is just a terrible SMG. The main reason I'm not a huge fan of it is because it's a burst fire. I just don't ever get burst fire weapons. They're not for me. They don't fit how I play zombies. And the thing that I don't like about them is, if you try to hip fire with these things, it is very, very difficult. And that's what kind of ruins it for me, because if I'm trying to run somewhere, I don't want to have to ADS every time I want to shoot. I want to be able to hip fire and kill that zombie in front of me. And the GKS, it can do that, but it doesn't excel at it, and that's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of it. The operator mod isn't really that good. I think they could have done a lot better with this weapons operator mod, and just overall, I tend to not grab the GKS. Every now and then I'll accidentally grab it because I'll get it mistaken for like the M9 or something else, but when I do, the second I realize it's a burst fire, I immediately regret that decision. Burst fires and rabbits do not mix, so I'm not a huge fan of GKS. You might absolutely adore this thing, and that is totally fine, but I just don't like burst fires, man. The only one I really ever truly loved was the M16 in Black Ops 1. That thing was very, very fun to use, and I still will admit it's a piece of shit. Alright, so taking the number 4 spot is going to be the RK7. I haven't really heard anyone ever talk about this. You can spawn in with this gun, and I never really see anyone ever spawn in with the RK7, and I think the reason for that is just because there's a lot of other better weapons to spawn in with. Now, unlike the GKS, I feel like the hip fire with the RK7 is a lot better, but I just don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's because it's a burst weapon, maybe because it's a pistol, maybe because it's, just not that powerful. I never really find myself going after it, and I never find myself spawning in with it. I'm just not a fan of the RK7, man. If you're wondering what kind of attachments I run with it, this is it. But I would say I'd really have to be desperate to pick up this gun. It's just not that powerful. Ammo-wise, it does pretty well, but it's a burst fire. It's just there's so many better options. In Black Ops 4, a lot of weapons are really, really good, and I feel like this one is definitely on the worst end of Black Ops 4 weapons. Like, if we take a look at every single gun at zombies, this one is definitely better than majority, but if we just compare it to Black Ops 4, it's definitely not up there with like the MOG or something like that. So not a huge fan of the RK7, but I will give it a little bit of props. It does have a pretty fast burst fire rate. You can always go back and get ammo off the wall. I just don't know. It's just not for me. I can't describe it. It's just not for me. Taking the number 3 spot is going to be the Escargot. And the reason I put this at number 3 and not like up more on the list, and when I mean up more, I mean like 5 or 4, is because you can't customize it. I don't see why they made certain weapons not customizable and still make them not that good. I don't really understand that. They could have totally put a couple attachments on this or put an operator mod, but I don't see why they did not, and I think the reason they didn't is because it's not in multiplayer. At least I don't think it's not in multiplayer. I've never seen it in multiplayer, and so they were not able to port over any attachments for it, so they're just like, fuck it, you don't get anything. But the Escargot is just an SMG that I never find myself getting, especially in Classified, because majority of the time the box spawns right there. So you just walk right out of spawn, and instead of getting the Escargot, God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. You hit the box instead. You just hit the box, get a good weapon, and then, you go on your way. I don't ever see a situation where I just grab it. I never do. It's not insanely powerful. It doesn't have like an insane fire rate or anything like that. It's pretty average. It doesn't stand out whatsoever. And again, it doesn't have any attachments, so you're not going to be able to customize it to how you like. You're not going to be able to make it any more powerful. It's just a pretty average gun. I don't ever see a future in me getting this unless I get it out of the box, and I'll take it and then swap it out with something else, because I'm just not a huge fan of it. When the Black Ops 4 trailers were first coming out, I was hyped. I was like, hell yeah, that looks like a fun weapon to use. And then when I got it in Zombies, I was very, very disappointed. It did not live up to the expectations. So that's why I put it at number 3. Taking the numero dos place is going to be the Essex Model 07. Now, it pains me to put this on the list because I like this gun. I think it's very, very fun, but I will gladly admit it is a huge piece of shit. It is god-awful. It will poop out very, very quick. The only reason I would spawn in with this is if you just want to have fun. It's a pretty good headshot gun for the first couple rounds, but then after that, you're going to notice that this weapon just jumped straight off a cliff because its usability goes straight fucking down. There is no reason, absolutely none, to pack-a-punch this thing, because even when you pack-a-punch it, it still takes way too many shots to actually start killing. The best way that I have found to use this goddamn piece of shit that I just love so much is to get the cryo pack-a-punch ability on there, because that will slow down the zombies, and then you can unload into their faces and eventually kill them. But fuck, man, I just don't get it. It's not good. They need to update it or something because it's just no bueno. The only good thing that this gun has going for it, and the only reason it was off of number 1, was because it has a lot of fucking ammo and it's a wall weapon. This thing carries so much goddamn ammo. You'll be able to take out a lot of zombies. It's not going to happen instantly. It might take you like a day or two, but you have so much goddamn ammo and this fire rate is so slow. You're never going to run out. You'll never find yourself needing ammo with this gun, because once you get this thing pack-punched, it carries like almost 400 shots, and it's a lever action, so you have plenty of ammo. But even though it has all that ammo, that does not make up for how shit it is, and that's why I put it at number 2. Alright, taking the number 1 spot, this might piss a lot of people off, but hear me out, let me explain why I put it here. It's going to be the Wehling. The reason I'm not a fan of the Wehling is because, 1, unupgraded wise, it gets outclassed by the Strife. It gets outclassed by a lot of other weapons. It's really not that good. And even when you pack-a-punch it, it's still not as powerful as you would think it would be. It's going to take you a lot of boom booms to actually start killing, and you don't carry that much ammo. It's not a wall weapon. You can't customize it. This thing can almost kill you with just one shot to your feet, which is very, very dangerous. And even if you have PhD Slider, you'll still get damaged a little bit, but not a lot. The Wehling just never even stood a chance. Now, I can see if PhD Flopper, or fucking Slider, sorry, negated all explosive damage and made, like, explosive weapons more powerful, I would definitely recommend the Wehling. But because that doesn't happen, because it carries little to no ammo, it is probably one of the worst spawning in weapons. There's just an entire list of why I don't like the Wehling. I'm just not a huge fan of it. You might love it, you might go into every single game with it, but how I play zombies, man, my starting weapon is the Strife. I use that for a long time, and then I go on to bigger and better guns. No strategy of mine will ever involve this. It's way too dangerous, not enough ammo, it's too weak. Just not a fan of the Wehling. You know, Mustang and Sally back in the day on Ascension with PhD Flopper, now that was pristine. That was OG zombies. This is just a imposter that wishes it could be Mustang and Sally. So, saying all that, that is actually where I'm going to call today's video. I want to know, what is your guys' top 5 worst weapons in Black Ops 4 Zombies? Which weapons do you guys hate the most? Which ones do you never get, no matter how many times you spawn in on a map? Let me know right down there below in the comments. And also, while you're down there, in the description, there's going to be a lot of links. One of them will be to my Patreon page, where a bunch of lovely saints go. Shout out to my amazing Patreon supporters. If I could kiss every single one of you, I would. And I wouldn't even say no homo. So thank you guys so much for being my Patreon supporters. And 2 more things. While you are down there in the description, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and Discord. And the last thing, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.